You know how a really great chat with a friend can totally turn your day around? Or how, on the flip side, one bad argument can just tank your mood for hours? Well, today we're going to dive into a type of therapy that's all about that powerful connection between how we feel and the people in our lives.
So let me just ask you straight up. Is your mood tied to your relationships? I mean, really think about it. If you're like most of us, the answer is a huge yes. And you know what? That's not a bug, it's a feature. It's just part of being human.
And that idea gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today. The core concept is actually pretty simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. Our psychological distress, feeling depressed or anxious, it's not happening in a vacuum. It's almost always tangled up with what's going on in our social world, right here, right now.
Okay, so if our relationships can be a source of stress, it only makes sense that they can also be the source of our healing, right? And that's exactly where this specific approach comes in. It's called interpersonal psychotherapy, or just IPT for short.
So what is it officially? Well, IBT is a structured, evidence-based therapy. And those words are important. Structured means it has a clear plan, and evidence-based means it's been proven to work. The goal is super clear, to help you sort out the current relationship problems you're facing, because that, in turn, helps you feel a whole lot better.
Now, what really makes IPT different is its laser focus. This isn't the kind of therapy where you're going to spend years digging into your deep childhood history or analyzing your core personality. Nope. The spotlight is squarely on the here and now, on your current relationships, your day-to-day interactions, and figuring out how we can make them better.
And get this, it's not some endless, open-ended process either. IPT is designed to be short-term, usually just 12 to 16 weeks. That can be a huge relief, right? Knowing there's a clear beginning, middle, and end. You're working towards a specific goal in a set amount of time.
And that structure follows a really clear plan. You can think of it like a blueprint or a roadmap. It lays out the whole journey so you always know where you are and where you're headed.
So that journey is broken down into 3 main stages. First, you've got the initial phase. That's all about assessment, kind of like mapping out the terrain. Then you move into the middle phase, where all the real work and skill building happens. And finally, there's the termination phase, where you review your progress and get ready to carry those new skills forward. Let's peek at what each one looks like.
So in those first few sessions, your therapist is kind of like a cartographer for your social life. Together, you'll create something called an interpersonal inventory, basically a map of all the important people in your life. The real magic, though, is linking your symptoms, like feeling down, directly to what's happening in those relationships. And then, and this is key, you work together to pick just one of those problem areas to tackle. Then we get to the middle phase. This is where you roll up your sleeves. It's a super active process. You'll be breaking down actual conversations you've had, role-playing new ways to say things, and getting really clear on your boundaries and what you expect from others. Your therapist is right there with you, like a coach, helping you practice these real-world skills.
Okay, so remember how we said you picked just one key area to focus on? Well, IPT has figured out that most of our distress tends to come from one of 4 common relationship hurdles. The whole point of the therapy is to zero in on one of these and give you the tools to clear it.
And here they are: role dispute, role transition, unresolved grief, and something called interpersonal deficits. Let's quickly break down what these actually mean in plain English. First up, role dispute. This is basically when you and someone important in your life are just not on the same page. You have different expectations for the relationship. Maybe you think your partner should be more supportive, but they think you're being too needy. The therapy helps you figure out how to either find a new, better balance, or how to accept the disagreement without it causing so much distress.
Next, we have role transition, and man, this is a big one we all face. It's all about the stress that comes with major life changes. Things like becoming a new parent, retiring, getting divorced, even moving to a new city. These things change who we are, and therapy helps you navigate that shift, letting go of the old role while building confidence in the new one.
The third area is unresolved grief. This one can be a real eye-opener. Sometimes when we lose someone, the grieving process gets stuck. A person might start having panic attacks a year later and have no idea why. Therapy can help connect those dots, linking the symptoms back to the loss and helping to kickstart that natural healing process.
And finally, interpersonal deficits. This is a term for when someone has a long-term pattern of feeling isolated or lonely. The focus here is super practical. It's all about building those fundamental social skills from the ground up: how to start a conversation, how to keep a friendship going, and how to tell people what you need.
So when you put it all together, the structure, the focus areas, what's the big takeaway here? What's the main idea? Well, it boils down to something really, really hopeful.
The core message of interpersonal psychotherapy is this: improving the quality of your relationships is one of the most powerful things you can do to improve your own mood. It's a game changer. Our connections aren't just background noise in our lives. They are a direct pathway to feeling better, a pathway that we can actively build and strengthen. So I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. Just take a second and ask yourself, what one relationship in my life, if I could make it stronger, or just a little bit better, what one relationship would have the biggest positive impact on how I feel every day? The answer to that question? That might be the very best place to start.